Okay. Hi. Just make sure my hair is on fleek.
Good luck. I got a haircut yesterday.
Good stems. Let them fly.
I was like, I gotta go on a date.
Nice.
Fucking day rates. It's like, better sort this shit out.
I went the opposite way. One of my resolutions was to show a bit more leg.
Show us those pins, Miles. Damn.
That's for your benefit. It's a whole different channel now. I just feel like a bit of a rascal today.
Welcome back to Day Rates, the show where we talk about design. You're blowing this already, Miles.
And money.
And money.
We're back. We're probably very dusty, I think. What do you reckon?
I feel fine, fresh.
Dust off the old cobwebs. Thanks for all the new followers. Thanks our subscriber sugar daddy, Ben Marriott, keeping us alive. But it's been really nice. It's good. I've gotten some messages from designers, which has been really nice, that, you know, actual people that do the job are watching the channel. So that's really good.
And they actually care about what we have to say, which I'm still getting used to.
You guys need some better channels to subscribe to.
Yeah, legit.
What a bunch of nerds.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, dude.
One of my resolutions is to swear less, you know, so we gotta replace that fuck with a frick.
Or a heck.
Heck.
I'm pro heck.
I'm heckin' frick, dude. Because it's a family-friendly channel. And what's more family-friendly than Family Fun Design Corner?
That was great.
That was heckin' good. No, today in the Design Corner is _Zarki_, or Zaki for short.
So what's this guy do, Miles?
Your boy is clearly deep into the old 3D modeling, but he does weird motion tests and stuff like that too. Saw his recent posts, which were these space kind of renders. I really liked. Like the model looks kind of simple from a distance, but then it's got like all this nice detailing in it, and the simple lighting of it looks really good too. So
It looks real as fuck.
yeah, it looks pretty legit.
So what's the deal? Do you reckon, like, I don't know how people do this stuff from scratch. Like, is this guy, do you reckon he's like sketching this stuff first, or is this like you just get in there and start building some crazy space shit?
I don't know. I heard on Ash Thorpe's podcast once that he doesn't, and he was talking to someone else that does 3D modeling, and they say it's just so much quicker just to start doing it. You kind of know what you're doing at some point. But I guess everyone's different. I've seen some people that do lots of sketches as well.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have to. I don't think I can just go in there and do some crazy shit like that.
With anything I've done 3D, I think I should sketch it. I start to sketch, I realize how bad I am at sketching, and then I'm like, why don't I just fucking sit and think, and try to plan it in my brain, and then go for it.
I guess that, yeah, it just eliminates a part of the process, I guess.
Yeah, the downside is, though, that you never end up getting what you wanted to create, so...
It could be good sometimes, I guess. It'd be up and down.
Sometimes you make something better than what you had in your mind, which is
Yeah.
nice. But yeah, Zaki does like cool motion tests and like pattern stuff and procedural stuff and just a whole bunch of stuff. So check out his stuff. Zaki, you've been cornered.
All right, cool. So what the fuck do you want to talk about? Oh, shit it. What the frick? What the heck do you want to talk about today,
What the heck
Miles?
are we freaking about today? Today, I figured, because I actually got some of our new subscribers.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, thanks for that. They've been sending some messages, which the topic has mostly been, it's been nice to take a look at a kind of smaller studio and see some of the process and like even our little tidbits on pricing and project management. So I figured we start this year with talking about just pricing, which was kind of the whole point of the channel with the name originally. Now it's not going to be that, but day rates was meant to be talking about kind of the day rate of a designer and what you do for that and everything like that. So I figured that would be a great way to start 2020, the roaring 20s.
That's a good idea. Now with all these subscribers, I feel like we actually have to share some knowledge, not just banter.
This is when it falls apart and we get super polished and there's like
Yeah,
little like kit lower thirds that come down and be like, Miles Hillier, blah, blah, blah. So yeah,
I'm fucking editing that in. That's happening.
don't worry. There's no threat of that.
Yeah, no. We had a discussion, and we think this is like, just keep it as it is, because this is the guys that are watching this. You guys that actually find this stuff helpful are just like us as well, and you want to see us doing this shit like this.
That's why I think also like we're not aiming to be super helpful. We don't know what we're doing. It's kind of more like, I don't know. I guess this year we'll do some more stupid ones because that keeps us sane. Like
I'm in it for the banter.
Pinot Boys is something we should definitely be doing.
That's happening.
Probably before I have a child, so I don't get liver poisoning. But yeah, we got some stupid ones lined up, and then intermittently we'll just talk about what's happening with the studio and stuff that we've learned along the way. So
Nice.
why don't you scooch in a tiny bit? Just bring it towards me. Come a little closer. Perfect. Now I don't want you any closer than that. So I'm so sweaty.
Wait, me too, man. Me too.
Let me just unflip my flops.
The pressure of all these new subscribers is really getting to us.
Yeah, these lights are pretty bright. So.
Almost had a panic attack this morning.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, I was thinking about pricing because our pricing has changed so much over the last few years and like how we price jobs and everything. I kind of figure we'd talk about how we price an average animation job. Like, just for argument's sake, we're going to deal with like a 90-second explainer video when we're talking about it. Because all different products are priced differently. So, and obviously you want to cater everything to the client. But we often get asked for a 90-second explainer video. So that's kind of an easy benchmark to talk about how much we actually charge, what we want to be charging by the end of this year, what we've charged in the past, why things have changed. So I think there's a lot of meaty pricing stuff to chat about.
I think this is a good episode because even now that you're about to have a child, I'm going to be here a lot of the time by myself.
Sending the estimates.
Yeah, the main thing that I was worried about was, if you get a new client or whatever, just quoting in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pricing is like, it's kind of the art of how to not get boned. Like this is the...
Yeah.
It sets up, the price you've set for your client it also kind of sets up the relationship you have with them.
That's true.
So it's like if you price low, you might get lots of work out of them, but you'll be the bottom of their food chain.
Which we were for a while.
A while, yeah, exactly. If you price too high, they might not give you the amount of work that you want, but when they do come to you, it's because they think it's a special project. They think that you're more valuable in that sense. So there's a lot of kind of psychology that goes into how you're going to price your projects, really.
And it also does depend on like the client. If it's a huge client, I mean, charge them a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Try your best. But it's funny because we've had lots of clients that are big, but they had like, we got no budget. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, we're going through that going into this year. We've got a few larger clients that have already squeezed us on some stuff. So you get something minimal. Your design is ultra minimal. But yeah, in the past, to kind of talk, I guess, quite freely about it, where we're at currently is we like to charge anywhere between $7.5 to 15 grand for a 90-second piece.
Yeah.
That's not exactly where we'd want to be charging, but in the reality, that's what we charge for, I'd say, most jobs.
Yeah.
Which is, I think some motion designers would be like, wow, that's a lot of money for that. That's great. And then other ones would be like, you guys must not have much time to do a good job of it. And I think the reason we're comfortable pricing there is because, we've dealt with agencies that they're clearly charging a lot more than that. So we're like, we know we're undercutting them to a degree that we'll get some work. But, we've also gone cheaper and see how tight that could feel and stuff. So we're like, all right, this is a good bracket for us, at least at the time being.
Yeah.
Because we're a small team. As of this year, it'll be 4. But it's been 3 for a while. So, yeah.
And then just on the tools, it's only been us 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I got to say, a lot of the stuff that we'll probably talk about today, I've learned a lot from the future. I know I bring it up a lot. But, I think Chris Do he's like a bit of a controversial figure because he's, you see a lot of people like there was Mike Monterio, whatever that guy's name was, where he was like, just fuck it, pay me and all that stuff, for designers. But then we looked at his work. It's kind of like, I don't know if this guy's had enough of a career to be saying this. But yeah, Christo did have a good background in actually running a studio himself. And I've actioned a lot of his advice because I started watching him kind of like my second year of running the studio. And I was just like, I'll just test some of the stuff and see if it works. And it really has. It's helped me increase my prices over time. So yeah, a lot of this is like it'll be in reference to that really.
Well, we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for those.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to go search and like see how other businesses operate.
Yeah.
So kind of step one, like how do we arrive at our price? It depends, I guess, if you're a studio or a freelancer, right? If you're a freelancer, you kind of have to run off a day rate. I assume.
You'd think so.
That being said, we've said to freelancers, do you want to work on project basis or a day rate? And how do you want to quote it? I can see the benefit of a day rate in that you do your day for them and you're done. You're not actually on the hook for more edits after that unless they want to pay you for more.
Yeah.
So if you're a freelancer and you like that kind of flexibility and you've got good relationships with studios that want to pay you on a day rate, I think that's great. There's no reason to start moving towards project pricing if it's not going to benefit you. But the one thing to keep in mind is where's your price at? Like how do other freelancers charge for their time? What are they providing for that? And, do you think you're pricing it fairly? I mean, not so much fairly for the client. A lot of designers will undercharge, I think. So
for sure,
have a look at your work and see what the demand is. And I'd say play with that definitely.
Yeah. I'm curious as to, I mean, I would have to, if it was me starting out, I've never really had to do that sort of shit. I was never an animator prior to this. And if I was to, I would have to ask someone straight up. I have some people that I used to work with or some teachers from design school and stuff like that I'd probably reach out to and just be like, well, look, what the fuck am I supposed to be charging? Because I didn't know anyone in the industry apart from like my teachers and stuff that were doing it. So yeah, I mean, there's all these YouTube videos out now and stuff, but like you were saying, there's the future and that sort of thing. But them guys like ridiculously charge shit.
Yeah,
Plus it's a
exactly.
studio.
Well, that's one thing about the future is a lot of it's like, well, you should be charging 100,000 for that, and I don't think for Sydney, Australian market, if you want to get actually paid and get stuff done, a lot of the time it's just not going to be feasible if you don't have a good reputation.
Yeah.
So I think you have to objectively look at, what is my reputation? Do people know me?
Yep.
How much experience have I actually had? And not even how much experience have I had, but how much can I show? If I've done a lot of good client projects, but I can't put it on my reel because it's behind closed doors, then how do you justify your rate to someone?
Yeah.
So you got to think about that stuff, I think, when setting your price. But the biggest thing that the future kind of showed to me was one thing you want in your price is profit. And I didn't think about this. I think most designers are like, oh, how long is that going to take me when you start to build a price? Which is totally fine. You should build a basis off that. But how long is it going to take me? And just pricing to that is going to make you go bankrupt over time. It really does. Because we've all had, a lot of people would have come out of the Christmas season now and be like, oh, I wasn't booked for the last 3 weeks. I don't have anything planned right now because people are quiet until they come back from holidays. And if you haven't had some profit over the course of the year, you're not going to be able to weather those kind of storms when it gets quiet. So yeah, definitely build some profit into it. And that's where they're kind of like, oh, how much profit do you want to get out of each job, and how much do you think you can get away with?
Get away with is
Which get away with sounds bad, but
it does sound bad, but it's like that's the whole thing.
That's kind of what business is. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, like the business on the other side, if you're working with an agency or something else, they're trying to maximize their profit. And if you're dealing with real business people, they're going to expect that you're going to try to do the same. Everyone wants to get the most out of the interaction, and I think that's totally fair. If they get really good engagement based off what you create, and you get really good profit, then everyone's still happy in that relationship. There's no downside necessarily.
We'll work with some like pretty big organizations where they'll just come to us at the end of financial year and be like, we have this much money.
Oh yeah, that's a whole messy situation.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, the bigger the fish, they will understand if you're like, you're trying to make a profit as well.
Yeah, it's true. And if you're dealing with larger companies, they have a budget that they're not personally linked to.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's a whole different ballgame. Then there are some hard limits. They will say, oh, I've got this much in the budget.
That's weird because that's exactly how much it costs.
Exactly. Well, that was a revelation to me when I was testing. And if you're new and just starting, I'd get into the habit of asking people, how much budget do you have for this job?
That's a good idea.
Because if you start the relationship, they'll typically be like, they'll tell you what they want and they'll say how much it's going to cost me. It's kind of good to ask them what their budget is, I think, because then you get a ballpark of where they're playing. Yeah. They're probably going to lowball you a little bit. But then you at least know if someone says, oh, I've got $500, is that going to do it? Then you kind of know they're not going to work out anyway. So you don't have to put in the effort of making a great estimate and proposal. Just get out of them quickly.
That's a good idea.
So that's a big thing. Like, find out what their budget is. Some people are a bit cagey. Some people are like, oh, just give me like whatever your average price is for things.
Yeah.
But if you're a motion designer, like, what is your average price? I don't fucking know. Like
20.
Yeah, 20. Add as many zeros as you want to that.
1,000?
Yeah. Because every job is different. Like, and I think most motion designers, it's such a new industry. Everyone's really pushing themselves to do more. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's giving them your average price is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an eye opener to me. Like just asking the budget up front. That's a good idea. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, and then what you want to return with, which the future kind of helped with as well, was trying to find a price bracket. So you don't have to go back and say their budget's a little low, right? I want 10 grand for this job. And they said, oh, we got 7 grand for it. Then it's up to you to kind of say, all right, well, 7 grand might be a bit low for us. We can do stuff between this range and give them a kind of range. And you can start a discussion of like, well, we typically want to charge around 20 grand for something, right? Which might not be exactly where you want to charge, but say like, all right, 20 grand is what we would ideally have for this job. I understand your budget is 7. Maybe we can do something between like the kind of 10 to 15 range. Would that work for you? So it's really working on those negotiation skills to figure out how you're going to get good profit out of it, how you're going to get the right amount of resources to do a good job of it, and kind of push them up so that you can get that done, really.
Miles is a fucking genius.
Yeah, man, it's fucking large. But then you look at what I'm actually charging on stuff, you're like, oh my God, it's like $50. I'll do that. I'll do it $50.
Oh yeah, there's definitely been some, it goes up and down. It really does depend on the client, man. And we really did, I think, earn our place. Like if we were to say to someone, we're like to a freelancer that doesn't really charge a lot, and we said we were charging 20 grand or something, they're just like, what the fuck, that's robbery.
Yeah.
But we fucking earned that shit.
Yeah, true. And we were always charging like so much less. That's how we got like all the jobs, because everyone else charges so much more, and we built that up for ourselves, so we fucking deserve it. Well, we heckin' deserve it. Well, that's a good point. It's like when I used to watch these channels, you can get disheartened. You watch some of the channels that say you should be charging, like 100,000 for your time. Why aren't you doing this and that? Well, it's like, well, if you're starting, that's not realistic.
Yeah, no way.
And especially if you've got bills to pay and you don't have enough like experience and all this kind of stuff, you're gonna undercharge on jobs while you're learning. And that is kind of reasonable, And in some situations, there's a job that actually really means something to you, or like we've done some arts gigs that didn't pay very well.
Yeah.
But just having those on the portfolio has opened other doors for us. So sometimes the exposure thing is real, and it's worth being a little bit flexible. So don't get shamed. If you haven't, if you've lowballed someone and now you're working for a cheap rate for a job, it's okay. That happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
We did it for ages, man.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we did it. We've done it so much. We still do it every now and again. And we're like, fuck, I think I just undercharged for that.
Those like returning clients that we just have a soft spot for.
Yeah.
We'll always get like cheap rates.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, exactly. Don't be ashamed. If you're new, it's okay. But
Yeah,
I think
I say I recommend it.
Yeah.
I mean, get the work is like the main thing, I think. And if it's someone else is charging $1,000 more and they're going to go with them,
yeah, and you lose the work and you have nothing else going.
Yeah.
It's not great either.
just do it. I mean, yeah, if you're just starting out, do what you have to do to like, get the clients, get the work, and then do a really good job of that fucking work, and then that'll probably open some doors for some more work.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think the way I was thinking about this morning was I think there is like different seasons of your career. So when you're at the start, it's like you said, get the work. Your job is first and foremost to make sure your kind of schedule is busy so you can learn a lot.
Yeah.
And that you're also paying your rent and doing all the stuff you need to do. All right. So don't be too hard on yourself until you hit that limit where kind of every day is booked, or say you want to do 3 days of client work and 2 days for yourself. If those 3 days are booked, then you're like, great, I'm now charging too little because that's comfortably booked all the time. And that's when you want to start going into the kind of second season, which is how do I get enough money so I can do a better job on all these projects? So that means that like you want to earn more money, you want to become a more successful business. And part of that is doing better work for clients. So better clients see the work with bigger budgets. It's kind of self-sustaining. Once you get into that mindset that, no, if I had 10 grand for this, I could do everything like this for it and make some profit so I don't have to jump at the next worst job that comes by.
Yeah.
That's that kind of second season, I think.
All right.
I got 2 more.
Hit me with the third season, Miles.
There's a third one, which I think is now we've been in that second one for a while now. We've been doing that where the whole game has been, let's increase our kind of studio bank accounts. So we don't have to take shitty work. And the work we take on for higher prices, let us always push ourselves to try to make sure that job has, done a better job for the client, but also we've learned something out of it.
Yeah.
We're a better studio at the end of every job. The next one after that is, I think, and we're starting to move towards this, is where you stop caring about money. Like, it really doesn't matter anymore. You know that you've got a nice sustaining batch of clients that'll pay you an all right wage, and you could stay in this kind of second season until everything falls off and the career's over. But now we're getting to this point where it is just now purely about making the kind of best work ever. The financial aspects have been taken care of. And now it's about like what the best opportunity is for you.
Yeah.
And this is where that kind of self-sustaining loop really amps up. If you're looking for really interesting opportunities and you're pushing in like, all right, I'm just going to do motion in these kind of areas and I'm going to do a really good job and learn all this stuff, then some clients will be able to pay even more for that stuff if that's what they really need. Like, that's when you get those really top tier agencies and clients saying, all right, you're the person that does this and I need that. And we haven't quite figured that out yet. So that's where we're at, is kind of trying to jump into that next bracket where good work's the goal always, really. Yeah.
Well, I think we're getting very close. Like, we're doing everything right. We had a discussion before we came back to work today. First day back at work.
Yeah. Sweaty, ready,
sweating ham.
mom spaghetti, all of it.
I'm fucking nervous.
Yeah. Then you get to this point where once you kind of got your money sorted, it's what's the meaning of your whole life? Because you've only got a short career. And we've kind of landed on, well, we want to make good art. Like, we really love studios like Gunner. We keep going back to talking about them, and even new ones that pop up like Bullpen, where they're kind of like smaller, but they clearly care about the art they're doing.
Yeah.
And the only way you can get a reel like that is if you take some risks and just go for it, So that's where we're at now.
We're just figuring it out now.
Yeah, is now you get your money set up and then you start risking it and fucking rolling the dice to see what happens.
Having a slap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Gunner and shit like that. And you can tell when you watch like videos of them talking about their studio and shit like that, or listen to podcasts or whatever, they have their shit sorted. I feel like we're very nearly there.
Yeah.
We've like gone over to like, we've switched to know what we want now. And like, it's clear that they know what they want and they're happy. Like, and all these places are like, where's Gunner even, isn't it? Is it Gunner that's...
I thought they were in Detroit, but I don't.
Yeah, someone...
I feel like that's a risky choice, but I feel like it was because
think
we
it
watched
was.
that little documentary on the studios. through
Exactly, yeah.
School Nation.
Yeah, so they just like go to these like random cities, you know what I mean? And set up there, which I find so good.
Yeah, it's like, then you get to a point, it's like, well, we want to have this much income as individuals, but if we lower costs in other places, so we get more free time to do good shit.
And just quality of life as well.
Yeah,
like
quality of life, yeah.
I was always wanted to go to work in that big agency in New York or whatever, but now it's like fully flipped. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that shit at all. We're going to get a compound down the coast.
That's it. Once all the fire stops.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, now the down the coast option probably not looking as appealing. We'll get
Up the coast.
we'll get a pontoon palace
Nice.
out there in the old open seas, eh?
That's not a bad
You know
idea.
what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm telling you.
Studio name is Pirate Studio, which I'm sure there's already like 20 of those. So sorry for those that work and have started Pirate Studio.
What's season 4, Miles?
Season 4 is it's kind of a sad one though, but I think people forget that your career will end. You will become irrelevant. So they're probably, and I've noticed this from dealing with older business owners, is that eventually you get to a point where you're kind of, what you charge starts to go back down.
Really?
So don't forget that, because there's less demand for you, really. True. Unless you've set up something where you've hired a bunch of young people, like hire the kids, get them to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder as a designer, I think, to make like the best money ongoing. Or you might make the same money per job, but you're going to get less jobs. So
Yeah.
I think you really have to do your best in that kind of second and third to make your living, to get set up. So that you can kind of relax at the end. You don't want to be stressing at that kind of final stage of your career, being like, oh, I need money. You should just be like, oh, I've got an idea for something, I want to do that. Would be much better, I think.
I don't know about you, but I want to be at the point where I'm just walking into the studio that I own whenever I want, and there's all these kids doing work. I'm just wearing thongs like Miles over here, and I'm just like, "What's up? What's going on, guys?" It's like my sergeant people. It's like, how's it? You know, that sort of shit. I want to be that guy, and they're just like, fuck this guy.
So I get that
I want to be
handsy
the
boss
hated,
point.
the hated studio owner.
That's so funny.
Yeah, go into my glass office.
Just call people in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to know. Like that's why I think once you figured out your money in those kind of first two stages, you got to think about your life goals and what you want to do.
Yeah, which is where I'm at. I think we're both at that point now.
Yeah, I think so as well. So anyway, that's kind of why I think, as you're starting, at least those kind of first 10 years, your prices should always be going up, I think. Mm-hmm. They should probably always be trying to go up, but just think about yourself. If you're a freelancer and you're charging, I don't know, $500, $600 or something, and your work is really consistent, it's okay to think about, maybe this year I'll charge $550, maybe I'll charge $600. And if you're charging project-based, then test every client and see what the actual market's willing to pay you for. Because I remember I had early meetings, we used to charge $1,000 a minute for animation. It was very little, and that's like including everything. So I was charging like dick all.
True, yeah.
I was charging heck all, like frick all, dude. I'm hecking,
dude.
No joke,
Holy
man.
shirt, man.
Holy shirt. Shut the faux cup.
Dude, what was
like
that one? You mother father.
You mother father. Your mother father's really good. Yeah, so I remember I went into one meeting and I was like, oh yeah, what's your budget for this? And they were like $5,000, and I was cha-ching, like dollar signs.
I'll do it for 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'll do like 3.5 and you'll save some money. Like, it's just such a fucking idiot. But then I realized, like, well, if they're telling me that, over time you realize, like, that's not always necessarily what the budget is. They're like, oh, maybe 5,000. You can say, oh, so it's like 6.5, right? Like, that's what you realize over time. So I kind of test it over time. If you're charging project basis, see what you can get for jobs, and you'd be surprised what you like averages out at, you know? I would have never thought that we can get, 10, 20 grand for an explainer video, but it's not that difficult now.
Dude, I reckon you were just about to send that email with like the first quote for like 10 grand. You're just like,
yeah. But also, if you get to that point where you're so busy, you have to get to a point where you're not playing with scared money. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way you can start really testing with your pricing. If you need that $1,000 to pay your rent, then you probably should consider if it's worth the risk, because you will lose more clients. But would you rather do 100 jobs over the course of the year for like $1,000 or do $100,000 job? It's just so much easier to manage less jobs at a higher rate. Like, the work always ends up better. You always end up with more time to actually work on the client relationship and make sure they're happy. And at the end of the day, like, most clients just want to feel like the process is really organized. They didn't have to chase you, and they're like happy with how they're dealt with, and they just feel good about it. So the more money you can have to invest in that, I think is really good as well.
But I also get that fear as well and I get it if you guys get it too, because it feels like when you do that sort of shit, when you're charging like so much or whatever, and you got to like not worry about money or whatever and treat it like just a job.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost scary to think you're just like, I'm just turning into this like business machine and no one really cares about the art and shit like that. That was my like kind of feeling about it, but it's get over it. Like you have to actually do it. Like you have to be a businessman.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to just do art, like, you just be a fine artist. I think. I think a lot of us are kind of kidding ourselves, because we all love the making of things. Like we genuinely care about that. And when this job's at its best is when you can actually like make something beautiful and it's for a client and it's what they need. Like that's that fucking sweet spot. But
you need the money and you need the time to do that. So be a businessman.
Charge more. But yeah, that's right. Like, I mean, you have to make some business decisions along the way. You can't approach things like pure artist kind of person, because it's like you're just dealing with marketing managers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll deal with the occasional business owner which has some big vision, but honestly, that could be worse. It's like the business world is kind of all right. If you work it for you, you get the flexibility to make good work for them. So it's,
Dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of had a whole spiel about like the actual how our shit's divvied up, but it's probably not worth it, I think.
I reckon that could be a completely new episode.
Yeah. But maybe we should take some time, because it's like the first episode back this year, to talk about, I don't know, design resolutions for the year. What do we want to do? How did you feel after the break?
Honestly, we never really had breaks and stuff, and I hadn't really had a break in a long time, because I was like almost scared to have a break, because I was worried
terrible boss, just fucking
he's a piece of shit. But I always worry about coming back, just like almost losing my touch or something.
Yeah.
Like I didn't open a piece of design software while I was on holidays this time.
Yeah.
And I really tried to have that break, because everyone says like you should have a break, this and that, blah blah blah. It's good for you, whatever. But yeah, man, I woke up this morning like even a little bit late, and I was just like, my head was just not ready to design anything.
Yeah.
And so I think it's gonna take me, I don't know, this week at least to just get back into the flow of things. So I'm yet to see if it's been good having a break.
First week back in January, everyone's trying to just fucking organize their own shit. I don't think anyone wants to go back to work today. I can't think of anyone that's like, I really want to get back into it. Like, I feel like most people are just in holiday mode still, which means maybe we should all just quit our jobs. Like, what the fuck are we doing this for?
Yeah, man.
I mean, like, think about it. Do you really want to do this? Do you really want to do this? It's a show where we try to convince you not to do design.
Yeah, just give your clients to us.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a break. I mean, it's good if you get some perspective, or like, I don't know the two. I feel like a lot of people take a break and they think they need to come out of it with like, oh, I know what I'm doing with my life, and now I feel really refreshed and invigorated. But sometimes you just need to fucking chug beer in some back alleyway somewhere, and that's it,
That's what I fucking did, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been seeing your stories. It's a lot of just like drinking beer down in the gong.
Dude, so much ham.
Yeah, so much
ham. Of ham.
That's what got the ham sweats this episode.
That's what it is, man. It's beer and ham is just like seeping out of my pores right now.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd be good because I got a upcoming child. Weekly shout out to wife Hannah for carrying that baby. Keep it up.
Hannah, you're doing a great job.
Keep it up, keep it in, but then eventually
pop it out.
Get it out, yeah. But yeah, I still ended up like, having my boozy Christmas lunches here and there, and probably less, deep thought than I would have wanted to have.
You kind of need to do that shit though, because it's the last.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what the baby thing is like. Oh, I've only got this like kind of. I'm really going to be busy parenting soon. So
do a whole lot of cocaine, Miles.
That's what I've been trying to do. I mean,
but design resolution wise, we didn't even say what we're going to say.
Yes, I have one.
Give it to me.
I kind of circled back to my tiny houses over the break.
You did. They're looking fucking great.
Yeah, and my whole thing was I'm going to try to make sure I love motion design and everything, and I'm going to try to do that within work hours, and then with personal projects. Like, I really respect that you do film photography because it's something you actually like doing. And I was starting to bleed my personal work into something I'm like, oh, this would be commercially viable. I don't give a shit. I just want to I don't give a heck. I don't frickin' father, give a faux cupping.
You're flipping kidding me, man.
Flipping whatever. But yeah, I kind of want to just make some art that maybe, like, if I'm going to have a kid, like, maybe some stuff that they'd like make stuff that's just like a little less serious with my own time, because I don't think that I'm not really a serious person deep down. So I love to party. I love having a laugh. I really like having.
You're crazy, dude.
I'm kind of kooky. Like,
he's the crazy one.
I'm kind of the office clown, and
oh my god, remember that time?
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just take it less serious. Just do some more stuff that is fun, I guess, or I like making little tiny houses. I'm gonna make some little tiny houses. And it doesn't really matter if nothing comes of it commercially.
But if you notice, like, they're great. And it's because you don't give a fuck now that
Yeah.
they're actually great, which is good. So one day you have to sell that shit.
The house series. And it's just like, yeah. But I'm definitely going to lean into that. Like, I've got one more little tiny house to do, and then I want to do like a series of little robots that move.
Yeah.
But something that's like fun, just because like I don't want to do it. You know, you see like Zarki, for example, like ultra realistic, like really cool stuff. I love it, but I can't do it. So I may as well just do something that I can do and kind of push the limits of that. So yeah.
And you enjoy it.
And I enjoy doing, yeah. True.
Also notice you've changed a bit of the ratio on your Instagram posts.
Yeah.
Love it.
Better ratio.
It looks so much better.
Yeah. Your photos looking very good though too. That's good.
I'm loving it at the moment. I think I need to get back out there now. I just sold my kind of easy to carry around camera.
Yeah.
So now I've got that big boy,
Fuck yeah.
which also in turn makes it harder to get up and get out there and do it.
You need a hoverboard.
Dude, I need to take it with this thing. I need to take a tripod all the time.
Wow.
So it's like harder to get out and do it. But that's my resolution, I guess, design wise or creative wise, is to actually get out there like fucking not every day, but like heaps more.
Yeah.
And like get heaps of photos.
I think it looks really good. I mean, that's what's so good because yours is the photography is kind of more like high art. You could have a show, you could do other stuff with it. It's really cool.
Well, that's what I'm trying to aim for. Because
Yeah.
I've got like a fuck ton of photos that are terrible. Like I'm not like I'm only putting the creme de la creme on there
Creme de la creme.
on Instagram. But yeah, I've taken so many shit photos, man.
Yeah. Well, it's good. Just cutting through rolls. Like that's how you get the good ones, right?
That's it.
So yeah, more photos, more tiny houses, more sweating in front of camera.
So much sweating.
It's so hard today. Like we're so sorry.
Huge thanks again to Ben Marriott for fucking helping us out, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. He's a ledge. We have some big plans for this channel this year.
Yeah.
We got a couple of avenues we want to go down. I don't think we'll talk about it right now because nothing's really ready yet.
Yeah. But yeah, just trying to keep this nice and consistent and kind of share our journey with the studio.
Yeah.
And whatever random, funny, weird design shit we find out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then apart from that, yeah, I don't know, maybe talk to other creatives a bit more.
Yeah. Yes. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. So if you would please like and subscribe this video and
Tell your mother, tell your father.
yeah, share it around because we're fucking famous now, man.
And look, we're
Like,
no.
that was a great episode, man.
That was pretty good.
It was a good return.
Should we end how we always end? With a solid 10 seconds of staring directly at the lens? 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 potato, 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato, 8 potato, 9 potato, 10.
All right.